Hello. Welcome to Kelele za Jikoni. I'm your host, your girl, Tracy Omani. Thank you so much for being here. This is episode 2, guys. Your support has been overwhelming. I have cried, I have laughed, I have felt things in my heart, palpitations. You guys want to kill me, but oh my wow. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I do not take it for granted. Thank you for sharing, thank you for commenting, thank you for laughing, thank you for telling me I have a really nice sense of humor, guys. My head is growing. To all of you who told me that I'm funny, highest compliment ever. I keep on insisting, I keep on telling my siblings that I'm funny, and they take me for granted. But it's okay. Me nitenda Hollywood, I just leave them here. That's what's happening, yeah? So happy new year. I realized in the last episode I didn't say that, just assuming that we all crossed over together. But happy new year, guys. I hope your new year is going well. Mine is fantastic. Really good. I am grateful for being healthy. Hey, your girl was unwell for the past 2 weeks. Hey, I was a bit concerned that the universe had decided 2022 is not my year, but here we are. I'm feeling so much better, and I'm grateful for that. So right onto our podcast for the week. Our podcast is on cutting off people, and I know in the last episode we left off as I was talking about cutting off sugar. Cutting out sugar. I got that. I listened to it. I was like, oh my god, Tracy, cutting off sugar? No, cutting out sugar. So this one now is about cutting off things. Who are we cutting off in 2022? Because guys, it's cutting off season. Okay, last year as well was cutting off season. Like the end of the year and the beginning of the year is cutting off season. So I mean, we're not gonna sit here and pretend that we're not cutting off people, because that's what we're doing. We are cutting off people, we are cutting off things, and this is an episode of us just talking about that. And at the end of the episode, please baby, tell me, who are you cutting off? You there, who are you cutting off? And I'll tell you who I'm not cutting off. I am not cutting off my friends, because let me tell you, these people have come through supporting me like we were not talking about this podcast with them. Just as in the surprise, the overwhelming support. I mean, this people just being out here acting surprised that, oh my god, Tracy, you started a podcast, like we haven't spoken about it at least 10 times. I'm not cutting off these people. Thank you guys. Tukienda Hollywood naenda na nyinyi. Yeah, so we're not cutting off my friends. Thank you so much for the support, guys. By the way, I think we should just dedicate the first 5 minutes of the episode to me just saying thank you. Yeah, I hope we'll continue with this spirit tusifike episode 20 alafu niko hapa peke yangu. Yeah, and let's pray for consistency. Thank you very much. Shout out to Joy Mora already. Thank you, Joy. So on to 2022. Who are we cutting off? And this entire notion of cutting off people, for the longest time I was really against it, because I need to stop saying cause. Anywho, because at times you're the toxic friend. Let's just sit and think about it. At times you're busy cutting off people and you wonder, I cut off people in 2018, I cut off people in 2019, 2020, 2021. Na bado you still have issues. I mean, jita meeting and just ask yourself, who's the toxic one here? At times you're the toxic friend and you're busy cutting off people, and it's very easy to see the speck in your friend's eye. And in your eye, there's a whole log. Compare the Bible. The Bible has gems. Controversial, but the Bible has gems. So that entire notion of cutting off people, I don't know. I don't even think I'm entirely sold on it. But then there are definitely people that you should cut off, and that's what we're going to target today and talk about. But also, I'd want to hear what are your thoughts around? Do you think around this topic? Do you think, where do you stand with the whole cutting off notion? Right? That's what I want to hear. Yeah. Who are we cutting off? Let me tell you. First person that I think all of us as a generation, all of us as kikundi, chama cha wanawake, that we should cut off is that toxic ex. That one, you know who I'm talking about. I just mentioned it, and you thought about that person. That toxic ex that keeps on guy. That toxic ex that keeps on coming back, and you know for a fact that no one wants to hear from that guy. None of your friends wants to hear that. Do you know Nani texted me and now we are here and now we're back together. Oh, he's changed. Oh, he's nice now. Oh, now he's not cheating. My friend, baby girl, 2022 is your year. Please, just cut that guy off. Machane, let him just go back to the streets, because we tell ourselves some lies. We're just like, yeah, he's now changed. He's now here for me. He's now not for the streets. But we usually have this saying, and it's not everyone agrees with it. But once someone cheats on you once, I think you should just leave. Just end that too. Imagine. There are plenty of guys out here. Hakuna haja ukae na mtu anakuembarrass left, right and center. You can't be the butt of a joke even in 2022. No. I don't want that for you, baby girl. No. Anyway, second person we're cutting off is that toxic friend. I won't even go much into it. Nikisema tu that toxic friend, kuna mtu umefikiria that one. That is the person you're cutting off. That friend who's always gaslighting you. That friend who is never happy for you. You come, you say you started a podcast, they don't share your post. Yes, maybe I'm hinting, but no, I'm just messing, guys. That friend who doesn't support you, there's just that one person, even when things are going well for you, like they'll never say something nice. They'll just be very negative about it, or they will try to one-up you. I don't like that. Because if I'm sharing with you something if I come and tell you, wow, man, I've just been promoted at work, then you don't even take some time to be like, wow, babe, that's dope. You're just already umeachana na story yangu. You're telling me about how your boyfriend bought you a car. Ebo, please, in 2022, let's learn to give our friends their flowers. And not only your friends, even your family, even your significant others, take a moment to just be with that person while they're happy. Don't just try to one-up them. Don't try to be like, hey, even me, this happened. No. Let's not be those people. No. So as we're cutting off these people, we're also not being these people. Yes? Thank you. On to the third person we're cutting off in 2022. In 2022, we are cutting off taxi. Wow, Kizungu imenikata. Anyway, we're cutting off toxic family. And this will be a very controversial one. And if there's one person who really does not like me talking about this, is my father. My father believes that with family, you should be there through thick and thin. I'm not of the same mindset, because there are people who are toxic, and these people can actually be your family as well. And in the African culture, I have come to notice that we give accommodations to people, and that's allowed. Giving accommodations to people is allowed, because no one is perfect. I mean, we're all flawed, and we're all flawed. So giving accommodations to people is allowed. But there is a point where you overextend. There are people who will take advantage of your kindness. There are people who will take advantage of your patience. And these are the people I'm talking about when I refer to toxic family. And when we talk about toxic family, at times it can be hard to identify toxic family because, with toxic friends, it's all out here on Twitter. You're just reading about toxic friends, and many people are talking about it, but not as many people talk about toxic family. So a few things that can help you identify if you're actually in such a situation. If the family member that you're dealing with is always negative, so the relationship is just, always negative. You guys don't talk about positive things. You don't celebrate things. That's one way you can identify a toxic family situation. If the relationship is based on any type of abuse, so that can be mental, it can be physical, it can be sexual, it can be verbal, it can be emotional. I mean, there are very many different variations when it comes to families, and some people are just dealt such heavy cards, so that might actually give you an inkling into seeing whether you're in a toxic family. Then another thing also I would advise is to go for therapy. I am a big advocate for therapy. I am usually just shouting to anyone who will listen to just go for therapy, because honestly, everyone needs it. And there's this whole stigma around therapy, but this is for another episode, because we're going to unpack this. But yeah, there's really a stigma around therapy. Most people think therapy is reserved for people with mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, but truth is, we could all use some help. I mean, life is tough. Life is really tough, and every day you're dealt different cards. So therapy just helps you navigate through life. It gives you the strategies and the tools that you need to actually live your life. Because at times you're struggling at work, or you're struggling with family, you're struggling with your own individual goals, and talking to someone who's actually trained to walk through issues with people will actually, honestly, you'll see such a difference. So that's it for today. There will be another episode where we talk about this in depth. So let's just go back to how to identify if you're in a toxic family. Is when the relationship creates so much stress in your life that it affects other aspects of your life, such as your work or your love life. Like, there are times you can be so stressed about your parents or your siblings that honestly it affects your work. You're not productive at work, you're not meeting deadlines. And if it gets to that point, and that's a point where you actually need to sit down and just be like, no, you can't just live life again. You can't just live life suffering. And you have to decide that you are going to live a peaceful life, and it's a choice that you actively make. So you can't just wait for someone else to make the choice for you. You have to do it yourself. Another way of identifying if you're in a toxic family relationship is when the relationship is all about the other person. And with this one, it can be a bit tricky, because if you're not very keen, you might miss it. And this is the way you can identify this is if you just look at every interaction you have with this particular family member. Are you always talking about them? Are you talking about their issues? Do you ever confide in them? Are they ever there for you? The people who actually call you randomly and they're like, hey, I was just checking up on you, which feels so good. But then with these people, they will never do that. every time you see a phone call, you'll just know it's something that's happened in their life, and they're busy and they want to rant and talk to you, or they want to ask you for money maybe. So in such a relationship, it can at times it can seem like it's not harmful, but in the long run really is harmful. So those are a few ways that you can identify if you're in a toxic family relationship, and hopefully, I hope those help. Again, you can do your own research and see. There are so many resources you can use. You can go online. You can, again, get a therapist. I'm just gonna keep on shouting. You're gonna hear this on this podcast, a lot of this. So yeah, and the ways you can deal with this if you're in a toxic family relationship, and actually I think this just applies across the board with all the toxic categories. You can have the no contact rule, which is advocated. People shout about it on Twitter a lot, and this is where you just go cold turkey and you don't talk to these people at all. So it's like they never existed in your life. You don't know what's happening in their life. They don't know what's happening in your life. If you decide to have kids, they don't meet them. If you decide to move countries or counties, they just don't know anything about you. So that's the no contact. This one can be very difficult because, again, with the African setting, no contact really you're going to be considered an outcast. And at times, parents can go to the extremities of saying they disown you and all that. But if it's for your sanity, imagine I would advocate for it. I really do advocate for it. Because there are people who will hold all these things over your head and tell you, it's tradition, this is what is expected. But there's this thing that one of my favorite podcasters said in one of their podcasts, and it's The Mics Are Open, and one of the hosts said traditions are just a way of ancestors bullying you, and it's really funny, but it kind of makes sense. Why you just following traditions just because? And if they're affecting you and you're getting stressed out, what's the point, hon? I don't see the point. So that's a no contact one. The other one, it can be, you can have low contact. So this is where you only interact with these people if need be. And if need be is during family gatherings or get-togethers, and most times this happens during Christmas if you're Kenyan. Other people have other celebrations such as Thanksgiving and all that. So the only times you meet these people is when you really need to. It's when you can't avoid them. And in those times, you just, cordial, or you don't even have to talk to them as much. You just, wave, and that's it. So that actually really does protect you, because you're not constantly engaging with these people and they're not affecting your mental state. The last one is the cordial contact. This one takes the approach of fake it till you make it. So with this one, you just, fake it. You're pleasant, you're cordial, you're amicable with these people. All you just, they'll never know that they affect your mental state, because you'll just be pleasant towards them. But I don't know, this one just, I don't know. If it works for you, do it. But for me, I just feel like it's so much work. It's so much work pretending to just be okay with someone. I don't know. In this 2022, I would say just use the other two. But if cordial contact is something that you would like to practice, then the option is also there. Again, guys, do your own research and see what works for you. And do let me know if you guys have seen people in toxic family situations, or you yourself, you're in a toxic family situation. You don't have to leave a comment on Instagram, but if you're comfortable with that, you can actually do that. If you're not, you can send me a voice note on Spotify or on Anchor or any other podcast listening app, and then we'll discuss that, because I'd actually want to hear your experience. So as we come to the end of the episode, I want to thank you guys for engaging with this podcast and listening to this episode. Share. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok at Kelele za Jikoni, everywhere. I haven't seen a page that is also called Kelele za Jikoni, so everywhere you search for Kelele za Jikoni, it's just got to be the one. Also follow me on Instagram at Tracy_Omani. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Bye.